Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to talk about one of my personal favorite budget optics, the Sig Romeo 7. Before I begin, though, I'd like to send a big thank you out to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed on my previous videos. I always appreciate it and always enjoy talking to you guys. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you enjoy this video, enjoy this type of content, please consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. And with the PR out the way, let's get into it. So, for most of you guys know the EOTech 512 is my favorite optic. Pause. End of story. Done. But I would say my next upcoming favorite is the Romeo 7. A couple reasons for that. One is that this is, of course, after I believe it is the Aimpoint Comp M4. A lot of people call this the Cope M4 because you're coping for it by saying, oh, the cheaper optic does just as good, right? I definitely would agree that for 90% of the people, it's getting 80% of a aim point at a fourth 20% of the cost, right? And achieves that since it is just very simple, right? You just make something that has good glass, robust, gives a clean dot. You really can't go wrong with it. And for $800-ish, give or take, for an aim point, I'd much rather spend my money on the Sig and buy actually quite a few of them. Now, this is a beast of an optic. It is a tank, and it's definitely reflected by the size and the weight of it. Breaking out the handy dandy scale here. Zero out. Cool. So we're looking at 14.2 ounces. So definitely not light. Definitely, and you can feel it in the hand, but it does give a bit of confidence aspiring and just good overall build, right? Now, comparing my favorite optic, right, my EOTech 512 here, talking about 10.9 ounces, and this is not obviously a small optic, but it does have two double A's, so that's maybe saying something. But between the two, I'll say if I had to have an optic for the price, I will take a Sig over, or I'll take the Sig Romeo 7 in particular over the EOTech 512. But if I can afford a little bit extra, I'll go the EOTech 512. Just because EOTech, why not? But without going too much of that comparison, I did do comparison between this and the Romeo 7S and then the EOTech and all that. So check that out on the channel, and also look on the channel for the night vision settings of this, where I shoot it through a PVS 14 to show you guys how it is, which also gives to why I'm liking this optic. But looking here, you can see it does have Romeo 7 embossed on the side. It does have a brass, you say lining, bushing, what have you, for the battery compartment. It does take one AA. Very nice knurling. Grab nice and easy. It does have capped windage and elevation turns, and they are shielded, which is nice. So any direct hits will be, should be compensated. Very nice finish overall. It does have solid flip caps and includes a metal sunshade, which is nice. The glass in the front is recessed, not quite to that line, a little bit short of that line, right? So it is quite far back in the body, which is nice. And then the eyepiece is pretty much right there. So very long optic, but very well protected from anything that may occur. Looking at the mount, so it does come, this is a standard lower 1/3 mount, but it does come with a cross bolt if you prefer one of those. I like the QD. QD is nice because you can't push out here and adjust the screw that is locked on a pin to adjust your tension. Whenever you do screw it to the rail or clamp it to the rail, it is locking, similar to like an ADM mount. Definitely, I'd say the mount is mount's probably one of the weaker points, right, between this whole optic, but definitely usable. Doesn't feel the best, but gets the job done. Anyway, you can release it by just sliding this forward, pushing down a little bit, slide forward, and then it unlocks, but does lock securely. It does have some, the reason I'm laughing is does have some just lightning cuts, but for this optic, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to lighten it, right? But, you could trade this out for, you could trade the mount out for like something like an ADM or what have you. But anyway, the brightness knob, so this does have two night vision settings as well as 11 daylight settings, is very chonky, is very nice. It starts at the 9 o'clock position with a little punch there, or a little punch hole to be able to say, hey, this is the off position. It does feature SIG's MOTAC technology, which allows you to shake and wake it. So you can set it at your brightness setting, leave it there. As soon as you go to pick up the optic, within around 60 seconds, I believe. So 60 seconds, it'll turn off. And then as soon as you touch it, it turns on. You're back to your brightness setting. But I like the Sig Optics variation of it for this particular one because you could turn it off. So just to save a bit of battery, even though it does have something insane like 60,000 hours at like medium brightness. At high brightness, I'd probably say 40,000, but still, that's 4, 5, 6 years worth of battery just from a double A, which is really cool. And of course, use only lithium, guys. Use Energizer lithiums or whatever your preferred lithium battery, good quality in all your optics. It isn't worth having an alkaline leak out on you and ruin your nice fancy optic. But considering this is only around 150, maybe not the biggest detriment, right? But in either case, let's get to the actual glass. Here is a 30 millimeter objective tube, and so here's the night vision settings. I'm just going to crank this guy all the way up, and those clicks are very tactile. And you can see the dot is very circular, is very clean, is very bright. Obviously, it's always hard showing optics through a camera, but is very nice to the eye. And the night vision settings, I'd say, are wonderful. Some people say they're too bright. I'd say if you have a crazy high spec L3 aviation tube, yeah, it is going to be quite bright. But if you have something like a Protonus or maybe like a blend L-bit or what have you, I'd say it's perfectly fine. Looking inside the tube here, you can see the emitter is kind of cut out in that body. Is very nicely secured and shouldn't be going anywhere. But definitely, thought through. Just looking at the body there, you can't see any type of machining marks. Nothing really crazy. Of course, nitrogen purged, all the fun bells and whistles. Again, overall, a very nice optic, but while being a chonker. Now, just bringing in the ringer here, bringing in my EOTech, you can see. I turn the brightness up just a bit. How fun it would be if the EOTech died on us. There we go. Sig wins again. No. So you can see there between the two dots. Obviously, this is the donut versus the dot. And obviously holographic, right? But the thing I'm really trying to demonstrate is the field of view. You can see with the 30 mil, while definitely giving a wide, clean, clear field of view. The EOTech's obviously going to win just because of big mailbox, right? But for what you're getting, usable area, yeah, you're losing out on the four corners. But overall, you're getting, again, almost 80% there, 90% there. And if that's good enough for you versus, of course, EOTech 512, you pick them up for like, 4, 5 if you're unlucky, but 4-ish around, give or take 350 if you got a good sale. But considering you could buy, 2 of these for 1 of these ish, doesn't necessarily make sense considering the features. You be the judge, but just want to give that quick little comparison between the all-time favorite GOAT. But if I had to have a second, it definitely would be this Romeo 7. And considering the length and width of it, right, you're going to be around there of the same. And some people are saying, oh, it's too big, but also coming from the guy who, again, I like my EOTech 512s. So anyway, guys, with that long-winded video out, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the Sig Romeo 7, if you guys prefer, if you guys like the Cope M4 knockoff, and if you guys would get one as well. Again, this is going to be my number 2 to my EOTech 512 as far as all-time favorite optics. But again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, awesome, fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.